Hello and Happy New Year! I'm Jessica, or Jessica Banana, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm filming an update on my Pan Those Eyeshadows project, and this is, I believe, update number 4. And a lot of people are starting this project over for the new year and doing a new introduction, rolling in all new shades. I, however, have only been doing this project for a couple months, so I have decided to just continue on with my project and at least finish it through 2021 and then maybe start a new project at the end of the year. But for now, I am really excited to share with you the progress that I've made. I've done a lot over the month of December, and I'll be sharing some looks with you today, letting you know my progress, and we'll get to roll in a couple new shades. If you haven't already, it would mean so much to me if you would take a moment to click that like button, like this video, really would help me a lot. If you like me and you'd like to follow my progress on this project and also my other project, my Project Pan, then please subscribe to my channel so that you can see all those updates. And leave me a comment and let me know what you think of the video, if you have any tips on panning or about using the shades that I select, or just to say hi. I'd really like to get to know some of my viewers out there. You also can follow me on Instagram for more updates about my projects. I'll be posting also some makeup looks there, and it's just be a fun way to interact with the community even more. So you can follow me on Instagram at Jessica Banana. It's like banana but with a P, Jessica Panana, get it? Pan, hitting pan. Anyways, and we can share more of our makeup enthusiasm there. So if you're not familiar with Pan Those Eyeshadows, it's a project that's been going around for a couple years in the YouTube community, and it's really popular, and I think that's because it's really fun to do. It's a random draw of the eyeshadow shades in your collection. A lot of people choose 5 shades. I myself randomly selected 5 shades. And it is my goal to use those shades until I hit pan. Because some shades are harder to pan than others, I will have a rule that if I have the shade in my project for 3 months and I use it at least 30 times, then I can roll that shade out. And if I roll duplicate shades that are very similar to each other, I'll probably roll one of those out to make room for more variety of shades in my project. This is really about cycling through my collection, getting use of my shadows and getting use of all of my different palettes. It's just been a really enjoyable experience for me. This is just a hobby, and it's something that is fun and it brings me happiness, so that's why I like to do it. And I hope that there's people out there who can relate. I know there are, and if this isn't for you, that's totally understandable. You know, just like, don't watch this video, that's okay. Now that we've gotten through all of the business, let's go ahead and get into our eyeshadows. I have all of them displayed here on my vanity, and I use these really nice jade bookends to keep my Pan Those eyeshadow palettes in, so they're right there ready for me to use. And I just really enjoy having little bits of beauty around my house. I found these at a thrift shop. They're genuine, and they're a really good deal. I just think they're so beautiful, and they just bring me a little bit of happiness when I sit at my vanity. They're just nice to look at. We'll go in order of how long these shadows have been in my project, and this palette has been in my project since the beginning. I rolled it out after 3 months, and then I immediately rolled it back in, and that is the Natasha Denona Bronze palette. The shade I've been working on is the shade Ridge right here, and it's like a mustardy brown crease shade. It's actually a really pretty color, and I've really been enjoying using it. This shade is really densely packed, and of course Natasha Denona is very pigmented. So I've had a hard time making a lot of progress in this. I've used this shade an additional 20 times this month. I use it almost every day, and for a total of 35 times. So you can see that this pan here is like really deep, and I have made a dent, but like the dent that I've made is not significant when you look at how deep that pan is. Because I've had this shade in my project for 2 months now, I am gonna keep it in. I'm gonna keep it in for 1 more month. I have used it 35 times. I enjoy the shade, and I might as well make a little more progress on it and just enjoy this palette a little bit longer. And hopefully get a little bit closer to hitting a pan. I don't know if after another month I will be able to hit pan. I highly doubt it, but I'm gonna give it the good college try, and we'll keep Ridge in for one more month. And there's Ridge swatched for you. Really easy shade to wear. I just throw it in the crease. It's actually a little bit darker than I would normally put in the crease, but it's actually what I'm wearing in the crease today. Kind of just like what I started my look with. So yeah, that's Ridge, and again, I love this palette. I do not mind keeping it in my project for another month. I'll be happy to get more use out of it. The next shade we're going to talk about is the shade Bones from my Vice 4 palette. And this is a palette that I've had in my collection for a long time, and I've hardly gotten any use out of it. So it was nice to at least have it around and give it some attention this past month. It's been in my rotation for 2 months now. This month I've used it an additional 11 times, and I was able to hit pan. So after 11 more uses, I was able to hit pan. And there it is right there, Bones. It's the first shade in the palette. And got a pretty good pan on there. This shade is not very pigmented, so I had to use a lot of it and build it up in order for it to be seen on the eye. So I think that's one of the reasons I was able to hit pan on it as quickly as I did. 28 total uses. I mean, that's a pretty good amount, and it's definitely something that it was easy to wear every day. I would check it in the inner corner or on the brow bone or on the lid. It does have kind of a cooler undertone, so it was a little strange on certain looks, but I was able to make it work. Here is Bones swatched on the hand, and yeah, you can see it has a nice sheen to it, kind of like almost a taupey undertone though, and this is after it's been built up 3 times, so it's not as pigmented as it may appear in this swatch, but I'm glad that I was able to hit pan on it because it wasn't the most exciting shade. But now I have pan in this palette after having it for 4 or 5 years. I don't know. It's embarrassing. The next palette we're going to talk about is from BH Cosmetics, and it is the Shanxo, the Remix palette. And this is that double-sided palette. I believe it's discontinued now. It's from the YouTuber Shanxo, who I really, really enjoy. And I had the shade in this project, that hot pink shade, Baby Girl, and this is what it looked like last month. And now, after only using it 3 more times, I was able to hit pan, and let's take a look at that here. So there she is. And remember, I had that little indent from my fingernail, so I was definitely maybe cheating a little bit and focusing my brush on that dent. However, these pans are pretty shallow in comparison to a lot of my other eyeshadow shades, and actually I hit a bonus pan over on the other side in Clarity, which is like that cream color shade, which I was reaching for this month to supplement in with my other palette. I was a little surprised to hit pan on it, so when I hit pan on that one and I was surprised by it, I figured that pan on Baby Girl was not far away. And I actually really had fun playing with hot pink eyeshadow looks in the past couple months. It took me 13 uses total to hit pan on this. And then I got that bonus pan, so that was really nice too. Here's Baby Girl swatched for you. So yeah, it's a really, really bright shade. I was able to find a lot of creative ways to get use out of this, and it was fun having that challenge. So I will show you some of those looks in a little bit. So we're going to say goodbye to the Shanxo Remix palette. I love this palette. I would be happy to have it back in. But for now, we'll give another girl a turn and roll something else in. The next shade is from the Tarteist Pro To Go palette. And I just rolled this palette in last month. And I had that third shade. It's called Boss, and it's a pretty copper shade, and this is what it looked like last month. I had definitely used this shade a handful of times. I'd had this palette for a while. It was in my travel bag, so it was my go-to palette for on-the-go look, so I definitely had some use in it prior to rolling it into this project. Not significant. But after only 17 uses, I was able to hit pan on Boss, and there she is right there. You can see that little glimmer, it's like a diamond. Does anyone else equate pans to diamonds. I get so excited when I see them. They shine at me, and it's that shiny object thing that people and animals are attracted to. I've heard that that's because it is like water. Like the sun on water will create that glimmer and that sparkle, and evolutionarily, that's why we're attracted to things that glimmer and sparkle. And here is Boss swatched for you. It's a beautiful copper shimmer, and I love wearing colors like this. I can wear this every single day. It's just a perfect everyday look and very, very wearable. Goes with pretty much every makeup look, and it actually paired nicely with the pink as well. So yeah, that's Boss. We're gonna say goodbye to the Tarteist Pro To Go. It was nice having you. And the last shade we're gonna talk about is from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Jackie Aina palette. And this is a newer palette in my collection, and one that I hadn't gotten much use out of prior to rolling it in. So I was super excited to have it. I love this palette. The packaging alone made me want to buy it, but the shades inside are just gorgeous. And the couple looks that I had done, I absolutely loved. So the shade that we had rolled in was the shade Supreme. It's the second shade in the palette, and it's that corally pink shade right here. I'll show you what it looked like last month. It had barely been used. Maybe I had used it once, maybe twice, but it was basically brand new, never touched or hardly touched. And this is what it looks like now. And I was able to use it 14 times this month. It's a very nice shade. It's actually quite wearable. You can really diffuse it into the crease and create just a nice warm pinkish transition shade. It is what's in my crease today, and I used it to kind of deepen up the crease on top of ridge. And I've really been enjoying just using this palette, period. I also have Sponsored on the lid today. It's kind of like a brownie green. And I have Soleil, which is a beautiful shade on my inner corner. I love that shade. I use it almost every time I reach for this palette. And I also have Pinker in my inner corner to deepen it. So yeah, it's just been a lot of fun to play with this. So I'm excited to keep it in. I don't know if I will hit pan after 30 uses, but if I have to keep it in for another month after this, then that is not the worst thing in the world. I would be happy to play with it more. And here is what it looks like swatched. And it's nice corally pink. It actually looks a little deeper in this lighting, I don't know why. And it actually pairs really, really well with ridge. You can buff them together and it creates like a nice orangey warm tone crease shade. Very wearable and a look that I really enjoy. So yeah. So these were my color palette for the month of December. Not a very wintry look, but we made it work. And we're gonna be rolling these shades out, and these shades are all gonna stay in, these two. So I'm really excited to roll in 3 more shades. Can't wait to see what they are. Before we roll in the new shades, I wanna go ahead and show you some of the ways that I used these last eyeshadow shades in the previous month. So this first look is a really simple look. I believe I wore this to work, and I believe in this look I put these 2 shades, Ridge and Supreme, into the crease, and that's them buffed together, and you can see it kind of has that orangey look to it. And then I used Baby Girl, the hot pink shade from the Shanxo palette, as a liner, and I put Bones on the lid. And Bones was a really pretty shade on the lid. I wore it almost every day on the lid when it was in my project because it looked really nice. Oh, this is a fun one. Actually, I made a video on this makeup look, and it is using all 5 shades together. So all 5 of these created this look, and I filmed a Get Ready With Me video on it. So if you'd like to check that out, I'll link it down below. So I used Ridge in the crease, and then I used Baby Girl. I made like a halo look. I really heavily put Baby Girl in the inner corner and outer corner, and then I buffed that out with Supreme, like joined it together. And then of course I put Boss in the center of the lid, and I used Bones from Urban Decay Vice palette on the inner corner and on the brow bone. Here's another look kind of similar to the first look I showed you, but with a little more oomph to it. And again, I have Ridge, and I think Supreme is buffed in there with it into the crease. I have Baby Girl as like a winged out liner, so it's a little more dramatic liner, and then again Bones on the lid, inner part of the lid and center of the lid, and on the brow bone again. Okay, for this look I put Supreme and Ridge buffed together pretty heavily in the crease, and then I used Boss on the lid. And I think this is after I had hit pan on Baby Girl and on Bones. So I believe it's just those three shades together, the three remaining shades I had at the time. I was gonna put this one in for fun. This is not a Pan Those Eyeshadows look, but it was a Christmas look that I did for fun, and you can check it out there. It's really pretty green with a red lip, and I'm just proud of it, so I'm showing you. And then, oh, here's another fun holiday look that I did. And in this look, I was able to use my Pan Those Eyeshadows shades. This is a little gingerbread look I did, and I tried to do a cut crease with like a little icing drip. And I was inspired by another makeup artist I saw on Instagram do this. So I was able to use Ridge in this look in the crease to create the cut crease, and I used it quite heavily. So I was able to get some good use out of Ridge in that makeup look. In this look, I wore this on Christmas Eve, I believe, and I put Ridge heavily into the crease. I put a little bit of copper on the lid, the shade Boss, and then I actually used a red liquid lipstick to create that wing. So that was a fun one. And this is the last look I'm going to show you. This was my New Year's Eve look, and I was able to use the shade Ridge to just start into my crease. I didn't use a ton of it. I basically used it just so I could say that I used it, but I did use it, so I'm gonna show you this look, and I also really had fun with this one. This is a look that I saw Shanxo do on her channel, and I tried to imitate it, and I kind of like how it turned out. Oh wait, and there's one more, I forgot, I lied. I used the Jackie Aina palette yesterday on New Year's Day, and I really enjoyed working with the purples and the pinks in that palette. And I used Supreme in the light pink shade, this one in the crease, and then I used the purple shade in that palette to build up the outer corner, and then I used the gold shade on the lid, and I loved how it looked. It doesn't even look as pretty in the picture as it was in person, but again, really enjoying using that Jackie Aina palette. So after those 4 new pans, the 3 for my project and the 1 bonus, I now have 19 total eyeshadows in my collection that have pan on them. So I have 401 eyeshadows in my collection total. And so with 19 pans, that brings my pan percentage to 4.74%. So we're getting closer. I'm hoping that by the end of 2021, we can at least have 15%. That would be awesome. So that's my goal for now. And hopefully we can just kick that goal's butt and get way more than 15%. But for now, we have a remaining 382 shadows in my collection that are eligible to be rolled into this project. And I use a spreadsheet on my computer, and whenever a shade gets pan on it, I just go ahead and remove it from my spreadsheet. So then I just don't have to worry about rolling in a shade that already has pan in it. All right, we're gonna use the Pretty Random app to roll in 3 new shades. I cannot wait to see what they're gonna be. So we'll start with a minimum of 1, of course, and the maximum will be 382. And I'm not gonna shake it because it never works for my phone. I don't know why, maybe just because it's old and it's really broken, so don't judge me too harshly. We're gonna go and randomize 3 shades right now together. Why does it always do that? Like changes color and doesn't change the number. I don't count it. Okay. 326, 201, and 281. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna go check and see what those shades are, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm not the most excited about these shades, but we'll see. We'll see how we do. Let me tell you what they are. So the first shade we rolled in was actually from my Z palette, my palette of single eyeshadows here. So I was kind of excited to get use on these. However, the shade that I rolled in was this one here, this like purpley shade, and I actually really like purple, so maybe I'm being a little bit pessimistic. But this is a shade, I believe it's from Morphe. It's called I Heart You. I think it's a Morphe shade. You know, actually, this might be a nicer shade than I thought. I just feel like it's so springy. I didn't want all these spring tone colors. It's actually pretty nice. It's a pretty purple. So we'll see how that goes. And, you know, I'm trying not to be, I don't know why I'm so bummed about it. The next shade that we rolled in, guess what? It's back, is the Shanxo Remix palette. Again, this happens the second time that I rolled in a palette as soon as it rolled out. But I really do like this palette, so it's okay. It's not a big deal. And this is kind of the weird thing though. The shade that I rolled in was this pink shade right here, Dream Girl. Could I just like get a break from the pinks, please? That would be great. I don't know why I keep rolling in pinks, but you know what? It's the eyeshadow gods, okay? They have a plan and I just have to go along with it, I guess. This actually is a pretty shade, again, very springy. So there's a swatch of that. It's pretty. I mean, I'll definitely be able to wear that every day. And again, these pans are pretty shallow, so it shouldn't take me too long to hit pan on that one. And the last shade that I rolled in is from my Lorac Mega Pro 2 palette. And I was super excited to see that this palette was getting rolled in. This is actually my most used palette that has the most pan in it of any of my palettes. And I was excited to work on it more. However, the shade I rolled in is this shade right here, Black Ivy. And it's a glittery black. It's a black shadow with a gold glitter in it. Exactly. It's my thoughts exactly. And there it is swatched. It actually is really pigmented. And the glitter isn't so overpowering. It's actually pretty subtle, so I'll probably just use this shade as a liner. And I've already hit pan in the other black shade in this palette, and I was able to do that pretty quickly with daily use. So at least this shade won't be with us very long. Lorac shades are very powdery and are pretty easy to hit pan on. So there we are. Black Ivy is our last addition to our January palette. And here it is all together. That's Dream Girl entering today from Shanxo, Ridge from the Natasha Denona Bronze palette. We have Supreme from the Jackie Aina ABH palette. This is I Heart You from Morphe and Black Ivy from the Lorac Mega Pro 2. Again, not the most wintry palette. It gives me a lot of spring and Easter vibes, but we made the last one work, so we'll do it again this month as well. Thank you all for checking out my video today and following my progress on my Pan Those Eyeshadows project. Again, it's so much fun, and it's even more fun when I get to share this with the makeup community out there and the painting community and other people doing this project. So if you are doing this project, please let me know. I'd be so excited to watch your videos. And if you liked my video, please give it that thumbs up and let me know what you thought. And it would mean so much to me if you would subscribe to my channel, and I can grow my outreach on this YouTube platform, which has been a lot of fun for me. I wish you all the best for this new year, 2021. I hope that you are doing what makes you happy and manifesting good things and positivity into your life. And if you're interested, make sure you check out my eyeshadow playlist, my Pan Those Eyeshadows playlist. I also have a project pan that I've just started, so check that out as well. And I also have a few makeup collection videos if you're interested in seeing more in depth of what I have in all of these drawers over here. Thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you in my next one. Bye.